And let me just see if yeah, here's where we were on page Tuf Resh Mem, and we're right at the bottom of the left column, low number Lamed Aleph Va'inyan, who we're on that page, that idea there. So let's start it. Va'inyan hu v'atach Rav. Let me see if we got this right. Va'inyan hu v'atach Rav mevoyer as ha-kesher sheyesh decha b'bein Osius Vav K dechavaya b'bein Yud Aleph Simamen and Megateres v'Yud Aleph Urius Ezim. We mentioned that this number Yud Aleph. This Aleph refers to Zun. So he said, Echad Aser, we said this before, Simonim, Asosha Baruba Be'echad Aser Simonim, he said, V'chim Acharaim Shalamala, Sheyarda Be'ez Mises Amalacha Be'bitul. Now let's go back again. He says the 11, the counts of 11, where did the count 11 come from anyway? He's going to say some things obvious about it. But this part here, he says that the Echad Asis Amanim, he says that they represent the Acharayim of what fell. Sheyardach bebeis mitzvahs malachim v'bitulim, and they became nullified. Shebeis shevivus malachim akelim, shechayse ba'olam anekudim, benir ben bepasiv ve'edach malachim v'shechad malchu be'eretz Edom, etc. As naflach of shevus malachim, and that is the fall of the 7 kings. But not only did that happen, but connected to them were their immediate giver to them, the Arba Acharaim, the Abba Ve'ima, which are Abba Ve'ima, Bare Heim Yachtad Yud Aleph, Bezecha Beruma B'Yud Aleph Samam and Megatarva. So he says, what is that? He's not Shevas Malachim, the 7 Malachim plays, plus Abba Ve'ima. V'yardo gam arba acharaim the Abba Ve'ima, which means Abba Ve'ima and Yisrael Sava Tavuna. He says there are 4 of them. So let's go on. V'yardo acharaim the Abba Ve'ima, and the acharaim the Abba Ve'ima fell. Be'esa Shavira v'chamisa. Yardo gam acharaim the Abba Ve'ima shehem arba acharaim echad ach the Abba ach the Ima ach the Yisrael Sava ach the Tavuna. B'makom zav v'nuk, and they fall. Where do they fall to? They fall to the place where Zer Anpin and the Nook are being located. Now I think that means the zav v'nuk that's in the Olam Atikun, because that's the language for that. But he's not really switching into that thought so much. Shehem Shevis Spheres Achronis, which are the 7 final spheres. B'zav v'nuk. Haim Shevis Spheres Achrona Shel Olam Atzilus, that really represents the bottom part of Olam Yitziros, the 7th Zat, Shehem Chesed Gevur Teferes Netzachod Yisod and Malchus. Ba'ofen Sheim Nitzarif as Arba Ba'ach, so that in this way, like this. If you join together, let me see what happened here. If you, where am I? Let's see. Ba'ofen. Nitzarif as arba ach, that if you put together these 4 different backsides, Ashal Abba Ve'ima and Yisrael Sava Tavuna, Im HaShevet Sefirat the Zecha V'No Kamrecha B'Chim Olan K'Misper Yud Aleph. So all of the falling elements are represented by these 2 letters, Vav and K, and it makes 11. Begam heim bechinas shnei osius vav and k hanizkach b'shecha b'shem kavaya v'chein dechazacha v'nok the bottom heim b'ramaza b'shtecha b'osius vav k decha b'vaya v'chein b'gematria yud aleph v'edach ha'acharayim nechlalim b'chlal zun. And what happens is that they get the acharayim, these 4, they become incorporated into zun. Now what does that mean? V'edach ha'arba ach shal ava v'iba v'yisro savat v'buna. They are incorporated together in the overall category of Zer Anpin V'Nuk Shehem Vavke V'Hem Yud Aleph, which are once again this 11. So he said the so in other words, I guess maybe he just means mathematically. I was trying to think of how he means that they're incorporated, but they take that all that into them. The backsides are all put together here. So lamed tesa v'lechein v'keven shaha ach the abba v'iva b'yusas abba the v'un the klala b'klecha b'zecha v'nuk, they're all together. Timzaki ein shum pgam tachton b'gia ela b'zecha v'nuk, and so it comes out like this. Now I don't see how one leads to the next thought, but he says there's going to be no pagam, shum pagam tachton b'gia ela, that only comes to b'zecha v'nuk. V'chein kol begamer b'naasim v'chigedecha b'maasechem abrogim shel the tachtonim sheba'olam hazer b'hem einim megiim el rak b'zav v'nuk, they only reach to the place of their anpen and his nuk. U'ba'ach shel abba v'ima, and we look at the backside of abba v'ima shegam heim nechlala b'zecha v'nuk, that they are also incorporated in that nikroim za v'nuk al shemam, so therefore they're called by their name. Let's see this again. Heim einem begiim elen rak b'zav v'nuk u'ba'ach shel abba v'ima shegam heim nechlala b'zecha v'nuk nikroim zecha v'nuk al shemam, they're really called zecha v'nuk only. I'm not sure if they meant only or what exactly he meant there, but let's go on. V'lo ba'abba v'ima ba'ach ein pagam b'tachtainim megir b'panim shal abba v'ima v'yasas. Now, I don't know if it meant b'panim or b'fnim. Let's see what he says. V'keven shehem l'mala b'bekomam, so that they're really above the letter of the level of the place of Zun. Below Yardo Shum Madrega Chaz v'Shalom, they didn't really go down the Madrega. Now, even so, the stira seems to be in the thought is that they're included inside of Zocher v'Nuk, because they're mashpia to them. So I guess there's an attachment there, but the outside never reaches them. That's what he seems to be saying. V'lechein tichut echad aser osir b'shnei Teves yiskada b'yiskadash. If you count up the letters of those two words, they come to 11. So they're corresponding to those 11, whereas the place was a problem, because the kali can reach that level. To give us a reference to this, the fichot tiknuch b'shnei Teves the yiskada v'yiskadash echad aser osios, so that we put it together with 11 letters. So connected again the echad aser niskarim corresponding to the 11 we said before. What 11? V'hem connected ha'arba ach da'abba v'imba v'yisrael sabba v'chasheva b'lochem shehem achad esrei b'chidush shekulim olod v'nisaknos ha'yedecha b'miras HaKADDISH. All of these 11 receive a aliyah as a result of saying this Kaddish. Od Yirtza, but if you like this, I'll tell you something else. He says, Od Yirtza. Let me get something, 1 second. So he said, Od Yirtza, like this. Sheyesh decha kavanon nosafes bezos sheyesh yud ala associate b'shtei Teves yiskadal v'yiskadash. There's something else over there. So something to keep in mind. He said, "Ki kavar bi'arno ki yiskadal v'yiskadash yesh b'chem echad aser osios ki nizbarav sheb'shtei Teves shal yiskadal v'yiskadash yesh b'chem b'yachad." It's the same thing. Yad aleph osios keneged echad aser samam medach HaKateres. V'chem mimramiz al echad aser samam medach HaShohei b'Kateres. So this is a reference also to this idea, in which I think that at the beginning of the Rishash, it's really basically what he says is that we're pulling up this 11. The soda inyan hu ki shem havayan nirbaz ba inyan shem shnei hiburim. So actually there are two different couplings. Uvavir inyan hu ki b'shem havayan nirbaz b'chem shnei mini hiburim v'zivugim. The avara b'ibara b'zav v'nog. So he said v'hibara b'rishon hu zivug abba v'ima. This is a yichud that takes place in Abba V'ima. If Abba V'ima, V'chachiva V'sheni, he was a zivug zocher v'nog. V'arba B'osyosecha Secha. So with their the 4 letters of Hashem's name. V'elech hashnecha dehiburim b'rumalza b'arba osis shem kuvaya b'ofer sheshtei osis yak. Rumalza b'chal zivug Abba V'ima v'shahari yud hi chochma Abba v'hei hi bina. Ima B'shtei Ozias Vav and K Ramaza the Zivug of their Anpen and the Nook. He Oz Vav He Zav Anikra Teves is something we know already. V'Kalol Mavak V'Oz He He Nook Deza like that. So he said V'Hine Zman Galos. Now we're in Galos. V'Kol Zman She'am Yisrael B'Nimsa B'Galos. Kaviyachal, as if to say, so he says like this: Lashon Kaviyachal, what does it mean? Nizker, Kashecha ba'omrim davashehi avshel la'omrach b'mach b'gadlus inyan u'meduber inyan ha'meduber that we're talking about. Ein Hashem Shalom, but the name is not complete. So this is something that I'm thinking about. Az Kaviyachal Shem Kavayo Hu Eidach B'Shleimus. What is it? So it's only, he says, what the name is only the first two. I would have thought it was the other way around, just offhand, but he says Hashem Yodu Ki Bizman Hagalos Hashem Yisbarach B'Nikol B'Shem Yud Ke Bilvad, because the others he's not called by those names. V'lo B'Shem B'Vai, not with the whole name. V'ofen She'ein Hashem Shalom Ba'arbecha Ba'Osiosa, the name is not complete with its four osios. Elahu Chaser B'Shtecha Ba'Osios Vav and K, but actually it's missing two letters, which are Vav and K, V'Nichbecha V'Rak B'Shem Yak Levad. So what's going on? Kamosha Kasa Ki Yad Al Kes Yak, so that we have that phrase that we see all the time. V'Ravadacha V'En B'Sham Hashem Chavaya Shalom Ela Rak Shtei Osios Yak. So he said V'Inyan Hu he says, because all the Klipos, they come, where do they come? Where do the Klipos come from? He said, what's the problem here? He said, it comes from the Beruim of the, let me get back, Beruim, the Shevel Malchei Edom. So it comes from the Beruim that are coming along with it. We're mining out Kedusha. So he says, so he says that the Kali, they come out from the Berurim that are left over, for after Mises Zun, after the Mises Zun, and there's a reference here to Pesukim that come about at the end of Parshas V'Yishlach, Ve'edach HaBelachim, etc. We know about that. Hashem Malchut Be'eretz Edom, Lifnei Melech Livnei Yisora, V'hinech B'hem Sod Echad Aser, V'chakali Hem Sod Mispar Yud Aleph, and the Kali are the secret of the number Yud Aleph, 11. Why? The Fi Shehem Sod Zun, because they're the secret of Zun. What does that mean? Zun is 11. We got that. Kevan Shehem Yatzach B'Zun, because they come out from Zun. Shehem B'Bechinah Shevach Balach and the Miso, because those Balach and the Miso that died and fell into the Kali, a Kanoida V'Shvira Zun, so notice that he doesn't refer to them as the Nikudim, he refers to them as Zun, just Zun. But we understand it's a preliminary stage of the same idea, I guess. But they didn't have this Misa, which is the same thing with the 7. And everything we saw that had to do with the death of the angel, of the Malach, of the kings rather, who bezun daika is only in Zun. Heim sod shnei osius achronos shel shem bavaya shehem vavkei. Zavanot, the Ramaza besel b'shtei osius achronos shel shem bavaya shehem osius vavkei. Shehem b'gematria echad asar, etc. He said, connected to Klipot shenis arva v'yatsa b'sham. So this number 11 corresponds to the number of Klipos. V'hem yud avad daika, it's specifically that, connected to yud aleph kali, in the Kedusha that are being mined, Bararu, V'yansacham in the Kedusha, and came out from the Kedusha. So he says, this is a reversal idea, I think. He says normally that we're saying that we bring the Kedusha out of the Kali, over here he says that he doesn't say that. V'hem Yud Aleph Daika, connected the Yud Aleph Kali, Shenizbar, the Kali are Nizbar, in the Kedusha, and they come out from the Kedusha. I'm not sure if Revildechain Nikra Rabazun Vav K. They're called Vav K. But I haven't quite got that in my mind. It's how they're coming, they're mined out, they're separated out in some way, or I'm not sure what he means. Let's go on a little bit more. Min shtera be'ozios elu, he said nimshachas lechem ha'ara ma'amazon. This is where they get some glow from that, and they feed off of it. V'nimshachem ha'ara bezun elakali kabiyachol, and that's what it is. The ha'ara from zun is eaten up by the kali. Because that's really where they come from. They come from the fallen malachim, and they're related to them. I thought it was the way that I thought was that the malachim fell into them, but he says, I'm not sure he's saying that. He says, Nimshachas lechem ha'ara umazon, nimshachem ha'ara umazon elakalik aviyachol. So this causes, I guess, Chef Amazon to come to them. He said because the root comes from the Vavke, because they feed off of that. And the Kevin Shahakalin is Barnadach of the Zun, because the Kali themselves are refined from Zun, find out, manufactured, let's say, I'll use the word manufactured. I don't know, Mizbarro seems to be the word that should be used for Kedusha, but he's not using that. Kevin Shachakalin is Barra Bazun Be'esh Shviris Kalim at the time of the breaking of the Kalim. Be'esh Lechem Shorish Bechem, so therefore they have a root in those 11. L'chein Ein Mekablim Bechem Aramazon, so therefore they're related to what falls into them, or what is, they are refined, or they're a part, or created as the fall. I'm not sure which one he means. And this is the tam zeh. Ein achiza the kala b'shtecha ba'osis rishon b'shecha b'shem b'vayish hem shtei osias yak. So it's not there like that. Shehem abba v'ima. Shah osias yak merimazan abba v'ima, as we know. Sheham recha abba v'romoch ba'os yud shal chavaya v'iva v'ramazat ba'os k rishon shal chavaya rak b'shnei osias vav k achronas, only with the kali nechazim only to the vav and the k, which is that 11. They're related to that 11. B'shnei osias vav k achronas b'shem b'vaya. Now I'm still thinking about this. Where is he trying to say that the kali is created as a result of the fall? As a result of the fall, it creates the kali, and the kali are attached to the fall. The fall is the fall of the 7. Or is it also represent what happens in the Yud-K? And he says no, because they're still in Atzilus. Shehem zav v'nuk v'shtei osias vav k v'ramaza v'chabazecha v'nuk v'ofish v'zecha v'romas v'os vav, etc. And the chavaya v'chanuk is the hay. Let's go on. V'zecha v'chatam she'ena klipos yichol na'alos min bina d'chatzilus l'malos. So this is the reason why they're not able to get any higher, which is what? And because of this reason, and yichol b'dech hakali la'alot l'yanach v'shefach v'debina d'chatzilus v'kein shekol shekein l'malach v'debina d'chatzilus sheharecha yednikas hakali. The only place that they're able to get sustenance, he says, he rak ba'osios vav kesh zah, because they're related to the fall, to the actual fall or the breaking of them, and seems to me like he wants to say, he's trying to say that it causes the kali to develop. Also a little bit more, he says, I'm trying to get over to number Pei Aleph. So they're completely held by the kali. Both the bria yitzira l'sia hu shebishloshas olamos bia ne'achaz aviyon came makali b'kol es sphere b'kol olam ham. Avara b'chatzilus ain't lechem b'chizak b'chizak b'bina v'lamala, but in Atzilus they can't reach that. Ba'olam ha'atzilus yesh techa b'chizah dekalim ak v'rak b'zecha v'nuk levad shehem zat da'atzilus aber b'minibina da'atzilus b'lamala ein yenikim v'acharayim l'kali. Now let me just see where we're going over here. Okay, pay Aleph. Okay, we'll keep going. So there's a lot here. The fi she'ein shrarshacha b'mekonacha b'bisham, because they're not rooted there. Shahare ein shorshem b'makom shel lekale mishtei ozis rishon shel yak. V'lechein heim einim yechol liyadach b'nebina l'mal. They can't do that. They have no tie to them, no natural tie. V'lechein yenikazim hibachozis vavke. Sham heim shorshem, because that's where they're rooted. Okay, a little bit more. We got a little bit more here. This is the secret of what the rabbis say. Ein Hashem shalom ve'ein kisei shalom. So we said that before. As long as a Molech is around, he says that she'ein Hashem shalom. The shame is not complete. Ve'ein kisei shalom. Ad sheyim chazarach b'shechel l'malach shechem akali. V'hain shebizman hagalus. Ein shem havaya shalom v'chein ein hakisei shalom. He just wants to say that. He says that is that the Yud and the K can't really come in because of can't come into our world. It's very difficult for them because of the Kali. V'hu ha'atam shem havaya ein l'shalom be'ez agalasu. לפי שחצי הראשון שהוא yak, שהם אבא ואמא, אין לקליפס אחיזה בכם. שם שם הוויה, בתחילה המסחל ושנרה בחווייס, which is יוד קיי and קיי, ושנרה ואוסיס יוד קיי, מרמזל לאבא ואמא, ולכן אין הקהלים מהחזה בכם, ואין ליום כבהם. ונשאר למעלה and they remain up above, וכיוון שאין לקהלי אחיזה ושנרה באוסיס yak, they remain up above in its silos. We learned that they remain in its silos, and they have no achiza there. The klipos do hold on to them. Shehem echad asisimam ben hakteres nimshach lechem misham. So let's see what this is. V'lakali yesh achiza b'yud aleph oros akadoshim animsaim b'yud aleph simam ben hakadoshim shehem b'misper vav k shel shem avaya. So he says here that they have a hold on that. So he says shem avaya. Now this is where we're going to stop at any rate, right here. And we'll go on, and we're understanding this little bit. We'll try to get a bit more today. Is I think 22 Teves. Okay, so we'll move over to the Sifra